Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 1 of season 6 Power. It was titled Murderers. Now I know I'm late because today is Friday. It aired last Sunday midnight, and I'm late because I had a busy weekend and I saw it late. But I'm not gonna really talk about it too much. I wrote down some things that I wanted to go over really quickly. But this video is more so to talk about, to kind of just go over a question of, do you think Ghost will die? Now that is the main reason for this video. Yes, it's kind of like a little recap so you guys get to hear what I felt about the premiere, and we'll just go from there. But anyway, I started this channel because I like to talk about, shows and series and all that stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do. And so, a lot of times I would sit and watch Power, and then me and my husband will just sit there and just talk about it. And it was just really, really fun. So anyway, I'd like to do that with you guys. So make sure that you go crazy in the comments, and I'll be in there as well. And so I'm going to just go right into it, guys. I have my notes right here so that I don't forget anything, because I really want to make this kind of, want to make a smooth little transition. And plus, I do have to get my son from work soon, so kind of got to hurry it up. And I also wanted to just drop this video because I am going to go live at 9 o'clock on Sunday. So for all those that follow me on Facebook, yeah, I'm going to be going live after episode number 2. So anyway, the theme song. I know everybody is upset about it. That's the first thing that I hear about is the theme song, the theme song, the theme song. I'm just like, why? Why was it changed? I just can't understand it. I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't get it. So that's all I could say. Now, I miss Joe's voice because he made that theme song. He made Power what it is. You excited? You want to hear it? Sometimes certain shows, when the theme song comes on, especially if you watch on like Netflix or whatever, you get to kind of skip the theme song and the intro or whatever. Not that. No, there's no skipping that. So anyway, I'm just gonna leave that alone. No dig at Trey songs or anything like that. You're wonderful, whatever. But no, it's all about Joe. My name is Joe. Anyway, so Angela, she's dead. Not really sure how I feel about that. When I say I'm not sure how I feel about it, I don't really care. All right? That doesn't sound nice, but I don't really care. Not to say I hated her character. I don't know how I really felt about Angela, because she was a side piece, so she gets no love. But she did come in handy when it came to getting Tariq out of trouble and Ghost out of trouble, all that kind of stuff. But I just kind of feel like her time was running out, so there was really nothing else to do with her character unless Courtney Kemp was going to decide right in or whatever that she was going to eventually go to prison, because that's kind of what it seemed like was going to happen. The walls were closing in on her, so it really didn't make any sense to keep her around anymore. Not to say I wanted her to exit the show that way, but how much more maneuvering did she have left? We had this new little snooping, was her sergeant. I don't know. She's another Latina lady. She's so annoying though. Like, she's just annoying. She's just snooping and snooping and snooping. I know she's doing her job, but just the way that she does her job is very annoying. Okay. Now, when it comes to the fight scene with Ghost and Tommy, it was just like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I expected Ghost to just go in. Like, Tommy was kind of getting the best of him, so it was a little confusing to me, and wasn't really happy with that. I was just like, I thought Ghost was kind of like, I thought he was a little better at fighting than that. I don't know. So I was kind of confused because Tommy was getting the best of him, and then Ghost was getting the best of him, but the point is, I didn't expect it to be a match. I didn't expect Tommy to be a match for Ghost. So anyway, here comes Tariq with his rude behind. I'm tired of him. So he comes in and he's rude. I'm just waiting for like Ghost to just kind of like slam him up against the wall or something like that. But who knows if that's going to happen. I'm just really sick of how rude this little boy is, how disrespectful he is, and how Ghost and Tasha kind of just like let it be, kind of. Like, nip it in the bud, all right? He's been on the wrong path. Get it together. Now, moving on. Oh, and also, when it comes to Tariq, I'm really hoping that something goes on to where his perspective of his father can actually change. You know, he respects all these other people. Like, why you hate your dad so much, but you respect Kanan and you love Kanan? Like, it doesn't, oh, because your dad lied to you about it? Come on, bro. Get out of here with that. That's corny. If you really stood for something, you would not be so mad at your dad. But because Ghost always lies about everything, that's one thing that gets on my nerves about Ghost, is that he lies all the time. Like, just tell the freaking truth. Goodness. All right, next, the dynamic between Tasha and Ghost, I noticed that it has changed to me pretty drastically. Like, we always know. I mean, Tasha, she's tired of Ghost, and she feels like, you know what, he's everything bad that's happened, all because of him. Blah, blah, blah. He's to blame for this and that and the third. Now, except for the situation that happened with, what's her name? With Raina. That was all Tariq. Now, if you don't agree, hit me up in the comment section and, you know, plead your case. I love that. So anyway, she's always been loyal, right? But it just kind of seems like things are not looking good for, I feel like she is going to remain loyal, but then to an extent. And toward the end of this video, I will, you know, elaborate on that. Okay. So before I go on to the next point, I'm a little concerned about the dynamic between Ghost and Tasha. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so moving on, my last point. No, before I do my last point, what's her name? Keisha. She takes the gun and it shows her putting it in, you know, in the river. I don't even think she tossed it in the river. Did she like drop it in the river? But the point is, the main thing, my main concern is, and I'm not really concerned because I don't care about her. She held the gun with her bare hands, okay? Don't you understand, stupid girl, that means that your fingerprints are going to be all over that gun. And if they sweep that river, girl, and find that gun, you are in trouble. Yes, they do river sweeps or something. I don't know if that's exactly what they call them, but yeah, they find ways to you know, fish things out of rivers and stuff like that. Anyway, my last point was when Tommy's car was shot up, and it was just like, I knew that was not Tommy in that car. Okay, when the Siberian dude Jason or whatever did all that hugging stuff, and then he told one of his guys to go out and check for some delivery or whatever, there was just something about that whole thing. I knew that was not Tommy in that car. Okay, but the crazy thing about it is now Tommy goes, oh, so now it's war, we going to war now, blah blah blah. But it was like, what did you think it was in the first place? Okay, but I do remember that after the fight, Ghost said, this ain't over. And then Tommy's like, it is for me. And it's like, yo, what is wrong with Tommy? Like, how you really think that, I guess he really thought that they were square. Like, everything is set, you know, I lost somebody that I really cared about, and I made you lose somebody that you really cared about and everything. So now we good, and now you got to live with this and I got to live with that. And he really thought it was like, no. So now we know, well, now he knows that Ghost, oh gosh, I keep screwing up these guys' names, that he is not playing around with him. He's not playing, okay? So they're going to war, and here it is, okay? That's pretty much all I have to say about that, because I know there's been a lot of videos going around where people have been doing recaps and everything, so there's really no point in me going over a recap almost a week later. So I really wanted to talk about was, do you think Ghost is going to die? I don't necessarily want to talk about how he's going to die, but if you want to talk about that, you can leave that in the comment and say who you think is going to kill him, this and that. That's fine. I personally think that he will. But there's a reason behind why I feel this way. And that is because out of all of the crime series that I've watched, loved and watched over the years, there's always one general theme, okay? And that is the ending of the ultimate ending of the main protagonist. Now, the protagonist is that crime lord that we love so much. We know they're doing bad things and they're doing, they're not doing right. And they're in trouble with the law, or they're fighting against not getting locked up, and they're, trying to make sure that they don't get caught up in the streets, killed or whatever. But we love them still the same, right? So basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about my top 5 guys from crime series and how they met their ends. Number 5, which I feel should be number 1, but number 5 is very important because I feel like it sets the tone for for future protagonists in a crime series. Number 5, Stringer Bell. Now, Stringer Bell is from The Wire. Of course, you should, if you were someone who watched The Wire, you should know exactly who I'm talking about. As soon as I mentioned the name Stringer Bell, the number 2 guy in the number 1 drug operation in Baltimore, Maryland. And so, yes, Stringer Bell was one of my favorite. He was my favorite character. There was I don't think there was really anybody else. He was my favorite, and I was very upset when they killed him. Yes, he was set up by basically his best friend, Avon Barksdale, right? That's his last name, I think. Anyway, so he was set up by him and Omar and brother Muzone, or some Muslim brother. I don't remember his name, but they killed Stringer Bell. Stringer Bell was trying to change the game, and he was trying to, I think get involved in real estate and, B&Bs and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing that the showrunner said, I believe his name is David Simon. Yes, David Simon. He said that, in an interview with the New York Times, he said, quote, "You may get a short run, you may get a long run, but the drug trade is the only thing that's eternal," unquote. So basically he's saying the players change, but the game stays the same. So like I said, with that being said, from David Simon, it lets me know that all future protagonists in a crime series are in trouble when it comes to how they're going to leave the show. Okay? The players change, but the game remains. So we're going to go to player number 5. Actually, I'm sorry, player number 4. Nucky Thompson. Nucky Thompson was the main protagonist and the man in Boardwalk Empire. Unfortunately, he was killed through an act of vengeance from the son of Jimmy Darmody. Jimmy Darmody was also a character that I liked very well, and I did not like the fact that Nucky killed him. Jimmy Darmody was not just a cool character, but he was also Nucky's protege. So unfortunately, Nucky met his untimely ending by Jimmy's son. Number 3, Jax Teller. Oh man, I like this guy. He has so much swag. But anyway, Jax, the main protagonist from Sons of Anarchy. Okay, I enjoyed this show thoroughly, even though it was, sometimes it was a little dark, because when the characters that they killed off died, it was very sad. So a little dark for me. Don't think I'll ever go back to watch it again, but I enjoyed it. So Jax, he met his end by way of kind of like suicide. So he basically had some unsettled business or unfinished business, and he made sure he finished it. And then after the fact, he was being chased by some cop cars, and he was on his Harley and driving down the highway, and a Mack truck was coming, and he just willingly rode his bike right into the Mack truck. I mean, he embraced it too, with his arms wide like this. Bam. And that was it for him. Anyway, so that was how Jax Teller met his ends. Player number 2, Walter White. Yes, the good old Heisenberg. I think that was his name, right? Heisenberg. That was kind of like his little meth drug lord name. But anyway, this was our favorite, America's favorite chemistry teacher turned bad and the best at being a gangster, okay? Because he was so freaking smart and you could not outwit him. And unfortunately, his own like wittiness and his own little, I guess, creativity kind of took him out in the end. He kind of made this machine gun go off at a certain time or whatever, right? And when it went off, he wound up getting shot as well. But he also saved Jesse Pinkman one last time, like he always did, saving Jesse all the time. Okay, so that's how Walter went out. I was kind of cool with the way he went out because he really didn't have anything. Nobody killed him, and he was, he didn't have anything to live for anymore. Like his family, I'm not sure if the cancer came back. I don't remember, but I did go back and watch it twice, but I still don't remember. But his family abandoned him. He wasn't able to even be around his family, even if they didn't abandon him, because the feds were after him. So it was just no point for him anymore, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, but it was no point. So his ending was pretty cool with me. I was cool with that, all right? I wasn't happy about them killing Stringer Bell, no. But like I said, he set the tone for all of these gangsters coming up, all right? So number one, oh, and Jax, I was cool with the way he went out as well. I was afraid of how he was going to go out, and then they did that. That was cool. Nucky Thompson, I don't know. But it is what it is, right? You killed this kid's father and he came back. What goes around comes around. Number one, guys, that brings me to number one, and that is Tony Soprano. Yes, of The Sopranos. Now, this show was it was great, all right? Now, the ending for Tony Soprano has been ambiguous. Like, for so many years, people have been trying to figure out what in the heck happens to Tony. So they never showed us exactly him dying, and I had to Google this. Like, I had to look up what happened, because first of all, I'm sitting there watching it, and then all of a sudden it just goes to black, cuts to black, and then the credits roll, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So that is how the show ended, and I was just like, no, what the heck was that? What is that about? So the interpretation goes like this. As Tony and his family are in the restaurant, we are seeing everything through Tony's eyes. So his POV is what we see, right? So when he sees the doors opening and closing, it's kind of like a little bell every time somebody comes through the door. We see that because Tony sees that, right? So he sees his wife come through the door. He sees his son come through the door, and then he sees somebody else. And then he sees this suspicious looking guy sitting at like a bar, right? With a members only jacket on. And I felt like he looked very suspicious in the first place. Okay, so we keep seeing this guy, whatever. So let me just, long story short, this guy finally goes, I think, like to the bathroom or something. He kind of walks off, looks like he's going to the restroom. And then in the meantime, Meadow, his daughter, Tony's daughter, she's outside trying to park her car, doing such a horrible job at parallel parking, right? So she finally runs in because I guess she's running late. Her family's waiting for her. She comes in the door, and that's it. We see her come through the door. The little bell rings, ping. And then that was it, black. So the interpretation goes that since that was through Tony's POV, he never got a chance to see his daughter walking through the door because he just got shot in his head. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I wasn't too happy with that ending, but what are you gonna do? That's the life, guys. Now, what I would say about that whole interpretation was that the creator, David Chase, he still will not confirm or deny if that is what happened. So it's kind of weird. He did basically kind of allude to that it supposedly was a death scene or something like that, but it wasn't a death scene. So it was just kind of weird. But anyway, if that was his whole, his artistry or some type of art form or whatever he was trying to do, I don't know. But I wasn't feeling it. So anyway, Tony Soprano, we're just going to assume that he met his end by way of gunshot, wound to the head, in front of his family in true mafia form, guys. That is what they do. They whack people in hotels. They whack people in front of their families in a restaurant. You heard of it all the time. The mob boss gets killed at dinner in front of his family in a restaurant. So anyway, that is my 5 guys, my 5 protagonists that met their ends by way of death in a crime series. So what am I saying, guys? What am I saying? I'm saying that I believe that Ghost is going to die, and he most likely is going to be killed by somebody close to him. And everybody thinks that it could be this one and that one. And, you know, I don't know if people think it's Tommy. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that they think it's going to be Tyreek. I kind of feel like it might be Tasha, of all people. And the reason why I said I wanted to talk about this toward the end is because I feel like she's going to ride with him and be loyal to him throughout this season. But then in the end, she's going to be the one to get rid of him. That is what I think. I'm not, obviously, I don't know. I hope not. But if anybody were to kill him, I think I would want it to be her. I don't want it to be Tommy. I don't want it to be Tyreek. Oh, for sure, I don't want it to be Tyreek. That will piss me off, okay? But if you really think about it, so many people are after Ghost. You got the feds after him. You got Tommy can't stand him. Keisha hates him. Angela's sister hates him. Tyreek hates him. Tasha hates him. I mean, it's like everybody hates Ghost. Like, goodness gracious. So who is going to do it? I think, like I said, that it's going to be Tasha. Now, I don't really know why I'm saying this, but I just kind of feel like it would be a little befitting, because I don't think she'll be able to handle if someone else would do it. But she does feel like Ghost is a problem, or he is the root to all of the problems that she has endured in her life. So I kind of feel like, you know, maybe she's tired of the life. You know, she wanted to be with that cornball Sterling or whatever his name is. Honestly, I don't care about him so much right now. I don't even care about fixing his name, guys. I knew his name, and I don't even care right now about what his name is. That's how much of a cornball that guy is. What was his name? Put it in the comments for me, because I totally forgot. By the time y'all put it in the comments, I'm gonna remember his stupid name. But who cares? Terry. His first name was Terry. Terry Silver. Yes, Terry Silver. He seemed like somebody that needs to be named Sterling, right? Like, he's such a cornball. Like, what does she want with this guy? Anyway, what did she want with him? But whatever, to each his own. So, you know, that is my take. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you comment. Make sure, because this is what I want to do. This is what I love. I want to see you guys make some noise in that comment section, okay? So thank you for joining me, and I will be doing a recap video for episode number 2. Make sure you come back, all right? Take care and be blessed.